Today, let's talk about grants that you can use to buy real estate. And this is not just for your first-time home buyers. This is also for us investors who want to purchase more real estate, to rent, fix and flip, or whatever it is that you want to do, especially if you want to use my favorite strategy, which is doing Section 8 rentals. But let's get into these grants and how you can actually use them to purchase real estate now. Because in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually qualify for grants, how to structure your business so that you can qualify, as well as what to avoid so that you don't miss out on these grants for your business. So what are grants? Basically, grants are free money. They are programs that give you funds to, in this case, buy real estate if you meet certain requirements. So the requirements of that specific grant. And each grant is going to be different. They can be given by government agencies, local governments, federal. They can also be run by private organizations, companies, and even nonprofits. So it's all going to depend on the requirements of that specific grant on whether or not you qualify. And grants can even come from wealthy private individuals. So there is a large spectrum of grants available and out there. So as a business owner, you're going to need specific things in order to qualify for a lot of these grants. The first thing you're going to want is a business entity. So this could be an LLC, an S Corp, C Corp. You want to definitely get the one that's going to be best suited for you. And the way to do this is you want to talk to your CPA, attorney, tax accountant to make sure you're picking the right entity for your business and your needs. You can also apply to grants as a sole proprietor. So maybe you don't have like a specific business structured entity, but you're going to get more access to the type of grants I'm talking about in this video with a actual business and that is registered with the state. So you want to make sure you register your entity with the state that you plan to do business in. Next, you're going to want an EIN number, and this is an employer identification number. And you can get this directly from the IRS. You can go to irs.gov. I'll try to insert a picture of what that looks like. So you can get this yourself. You don't necessarily have to pay someone else to do it unless you just want to for ease, but it's really not that difficult to do. You go on the website and you sign up with your business entity information. Once you've got your structured entity, your EIN, the next thing you want to do is go ahead and get a business bank account. So you can get a business checking account. I'll list some of my favorite business banks, but you want to have a separate business checking account so that the organization that is going to be granting you these funds knows that they can deposit them into a business bank account and it's not going to be in your personal account. They know that you're going to be using this for the purpose that they have set this grant program up for and not just all willy-nilly in your personal bank. That's a no-no. And then before you start applying to grants, you want to make sure you set yourself up so that you look professional. So this means going ahead and getting a professional email address. You don't want it to be your Gmail address. You want it to be something like your company name, .com, right? So like my name is Nana, so it would be Nana at xyzcompany.com and not nana@gmail.com, right? Something that looks professional. You also want to see if you can get a professional phone number, and you can do this with online platforms so you don't have to go out and get like a second line. And then you also want to have a website that these grant companies can go take a look at and make sure you're actually legit. So you can set up free websites on platforms like System.io, StanStore. There are so many. You can even use Shopify, WordPress, whatever works for you. You just want something basic that if someone wants to look you up really quickly, they can quickly find you online. There are even some AI platforms these days that let you set up a website in like 2 seconds. So you want to invest in that as well. Now, if you're applying for a grant as a first-time home buyer, you really don't necessarily need all the things that I just listed because you're going to be applying in your name. And remember, even as a first-time home buyer, when you're applying for a grant on a property that you want to live in, you can still use this for rental properties. Let's say you get a duplex, which has 2 units, maybe a triplex or a fourplex, anything under 5 units. It can still be considered a primary residence. So you can live in one unit and then rent all the others, and boom, you're now a real estate investor, you're a landlord, and you have some passive income going in. And this is where you can easily rent to Section 8 tenants and get guaranteed rent. And if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and check the link in my bio for my free Section 8 investing guide for landlords and aspiring new investors. It'll give you a breakdown of my exact strategy on how we get passive income, guaranteed rent every single month without having to deal with bad tenants, government headaches, and all the drama. I hope you guys don't hear a whole lot of noise. They're building like a patio cover in my backyard, so excuse the noise if you hear it, and say hi to the baby bump just for fun. Anyway, now that you have your entity set up and you've got your business all organized, the next thing you want to do is have a business mission statement. So you want to have a statement that shares essentially what it is your organization does, what your company does. What are your goals? What is your purpose? What is it that you actually do? And what do you want this grant for? Because most grants are going to be tied to a specific purpose, right? So it might be they want to increase affordable housing in a certain area, or they just want to increase the supply of housing, whatever the case may be. So they want to make sure that you were to win this grant, it is actually aligned with whatever their goal and their mission is. So you want to have a very clear business mission statement that has all of that in a very concise and impactful way. So examples of this could be, I provide affordable housing to low-income families. I provide housing to people with disabilities or veterans, or I provide sober living or something like that. Or maybe you improve neighborhoods by fixing and flipping old dilapidated properties. Whatever it is, you want to make sure that's all included in your mission statement and it's very clear on what it is that you will eventually be using these grant funds to do. You can add things like, I'll be improving the local community, I'll be positively impacting jobs, etc., all to make sure that they know that you're just not going to be using this money to go ball out and buy a Lamborghini or something banana pants like that. So you want to avoid making it all about you when you create your mission statement. You want to tie it to something that's going to make a positive impact, and pay attention to what the actual grant that you're applying for is for, right? You want to tailor your mission statement when you're making your application to that specific grant so that it's well aligned. And for a list of free real estate grants, both for first-time home buyers and real estate investors, go ahead and check out my free 50 real estate grants and down payment assistance programs in the link in the description box below. It's going to have over 50 free money resources that you can utilize to buy real estate without necessarily having to use all of your own funds to get started. So some places that you can look to actually get access to some of these grants include your local state housing financing agencies. So these states have a lot of programs available, like low interest loans, tax credits, as well as actual grants that they're going to give to individual private companies or people who are going to invest in specific things that that housing agency is interested in seeing happen. So a lot of times it's going to be tied to affordable housing, public housing, some sort of community benefit. And a lot of times as a private investor, you can even partner with a developer or nonprofit agency to actually qualify for these grants if you're going to be doing some affordable housing work as well. Then you also have community development block grants. So these are federal grants that are allocated to state and local governments, which then can distribute them to investors and nonprofits for specific projects to help benefit the community. Again, you will find this by going to your local government agencies to see what they have available. And then you also have private foundations that may have specific goals that they're trying to reach for a local community that you can apply for as long as you commit to completing that sort of a project. And for those who are looking to buy a property for themselves, there are several thousands of grants out there available. I'm going to give you a few here. So the Chase Homebuyer Grant is a program that provides up to $7,500 to eligible home buyers in certain areas of the United States. And the grant can be used to lower the interest rate of the property that you're buying, which in this day and age, we all want lower interest rates. It can help reduce your closing costs and also lower your overall down payment. And that's a grant that can be used nationwide. Then you have the Home Buyer Access Grant, which provides up to $10,000 in down payment assistance. It's intended for borrowers who earn up to 120% of the area's median income. So this is great for those of us who make a little bit more and we might not qualify for other kind of grants because they're geared towards lower income. And it can actually be combined with other select assistance programs. So this is really nice because maybe you get 10,000 from here, you get another 5 from here, XYZ, boom, you have enough money to get the property that you're looking for. Then you've got the Ameris Down Payment Grant Program. So this program allows eligible first-time home buyers up to $12,500 towards your down payment as well as your closing costs. And again, you might possibly be able to combine this with another grant to get the type of property you want. And the last one I'll share is going to be the HPAP program, which stands for Home Purchase Assistance Program. And this gives up to $202,000 in down payment and closing cost assistance to eligible first-time home buyers. So that is a poop ton of money. Now you have to make sure and check that the funds have not been already depleted, and I'll actually double check that maybe and include that in the video, because sometimes the grants will run out of money. They'll need to replenish, but you want to make sure you check that before you put in an application. And just as a reminder, if you have owned real estate before, don't fret, because if you have not actually owned a property in the last 3 years in your name, you can still be considered a first-time home buyer. So a lot of these programs you can still utilize as a first-time home buyer and get some of these great rates, great funds to be able to purchase property. And again, you can use these to purchase multi-units as long as they're going to be your primary residence at least for 1 year. Now, if you enjoyed this information, I would love to invite you to my free masterclass, How to Get Guaranteed Rent and Passive Income from Section 8 Investing without having to use all of your own money, cash or credit, having to deal with bad tenants or government headaches. You can check that link out in the description box below and sign up for the free masterclass so that you can get the full breakdown of how you can get into real estate without having to use your own cash or credit, and then how to become a Section 8 landlord without all the drama. All right, now if you found this video helpful, go ahead and check out this next one here, because when you put the two together, you will be unstoppable. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video.